tick tock, time na money. Ori, me, check a shake yori. Lick it, come and take me away to the place of my desire. I don't wanna be there.
Okay, people. Let's get the effect. We're back again, back in action, back in
Back
office.
again.
How's it going,
Back
everyone?
again.
Shout out to everybody watching us wherever it is that you're watching the show from. Whether it's your first time, whether you are one of our regular customers. But welcome to the show. This is Lasgidi Effect. And as we always say, it's just a show for regular Niger boys. We're just here. We just come on here to talk about football, talk about Arsenal, and we try to infuse it with some of that Niger flavor. So anything violation law. Mossy boy, how's it going?
Nothing much. Just like I drop a message in the team in the what's it called subgroup that there's gonna be a pretty quick one. There's quite a few international game going on. So Portugal, I think Portugal is playing Ireland or something. So, but
Oh, okay,
I don't
that's
know how
that's
that is going.
interesting. That's
hmm
interesting.
So
Funny thing
yeah, but
is,
hmm
funny thing is, Arsenal always capitalize on times like this to
hmm
push some PR agenda. You
hmm
know,
hmm
so a lot. I mean, for example, on Monday they released that. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Josh Kroenke interview was released on Monday. Um, but aside from that,
the interview has done for a very long time.
yeah, done it.
Now that they see that the
Weekly.
team is doing well, they release it. If the team is doing bad, they're not going to release that.
Yeah, maybe if we didn't win against Watford, they may not have released it. But they did, and then some interesting things have happened as well.
hmm
Steven Gerrard, as you probably
hmm
have heard, has taken over as the manager of Aston Villa.
hmm
Um, and those are just like interesting times. I mean, two really interesting things that have happened over the
hmm
course of this this international break.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll just get into a few of those things and then we'll wrap up the show. But
Yep.
first of all, Mossy boy, I'm gonna ask,
mm,
right?
Yep.
These are this, I know we've agreed,
mm,
on not getting carried away because we've
Yep.
seen these patterns before,
Yep.
right? But based on what we've done this season, 11
Yep.
games in, we've won 6 games, we've drawn two,
hmm
lost three.
Yep.
We're currently fifth on the table. How would you
Yep.
assess just the period we've been through so far?
Um, if I'm going to rate it between 1 to 10, at the moment, I will still say 3 out of 10
Okay,
because
okay.
the reason why
Why
I
are you
said
saying three?
3 out of 10, we've seen Una Emery went on 22 games unbeaten, and we still don't finish in the top four. We finish it in the Europa League sport, but we don't finish in the top four. But a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people now, they say, oh, now we got a chance to. We've been there so many years back. To get a chance to finish in the top four, it doesn't happen. But still, well, I know that if we win our next game, we're gonna go to third is it third, I think.
Yeah, we have the chance
We we have the chance to
going
go
into
into
third.
third
I mean,
place,
I don't think
but
we'll get into third place because the goal difference is still an issue. But at least we
it's
can
still
move
an
up one
issue. So
one
it's
spot.
just zero at the moment. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is we've seen this time and time and time and time again, and which I don't think. I still believe maybe we're gonna. I guess from the beginning of the season we'll probably finish below 8 this season, but it looks like the team is kind of proving me wrong on that one. We're fifth at the moment, but we will probably, if I'm going to look at it, we'll probably finish at that spot fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is sort of like the
Mm,
title I gave the show today. Just asking,
mm.
will Arsenal get back into Europe at the end of this season?
No,
I mean, I guess it's
they,
a
they,
good,
they will probably they won't get into Champions League, but they will get back into the Europe. I
but
think.
they will be able to get back into Europe.
Mhm.
Osman Ali Big ups to you. It says we will know where we are about the next 4 games.
That's correct.
Um,
I agree with that.
I,
Yeah.
I agree with that
Hmm.
completely. I mean, we're not going. We're going in next week's show. We would get more into like the Liverpool game and do like a preview. Um, but like you said,
One
okay,
thing I want to say is, if we get a result at Anfield, teams are not going to look at Arsenal the way they are looking them before. If we do manage to get a result, teams will be coming more prepared to come and
yeah,
play Arsenal. You
yeah.
understand what I mean?
Especially
So
if we play well, right? And playing well
mm,
doesn't mean that we dominate Liverpool, but playing well means that at least we compete.
we compete.
It's not like when we play
Even,
against Manchester
even though
City
if we
and we
lose
just
the
won.
game like maybe 1-0, 2-0, but we
Yeah.
show character,
But if you exactly,
people
if you
fans are
compete,
not going to complain. But if we
exactly,
go there and we just get beat like 5-0 the way they beat Man United, fans will complain.
exactly, then that will
We
show that
need,
we're not that
and
good.
those two goals that even though if we lose 2-0, 1-0, we need to make them woes. You understand what I mean? Liverpool
Yeah,
can be beat. Liverpool, they're not they're human. They can be beaten. We've seen Aston
of
Villa
course,
score 7 past them. We've
of,
seen Bradford score 3 past them.
of course, of course.
Look at the 3 goals they
West
concede
Ham beat them
against West Ham.
just over the weekend. Yeah,
Look at the 3 goals they concede against West Ham. They are vulnerable to make mistake. Their goalkeeper, it kind of, all those 3 goals is things that he made 3 mistakes, and West Ham scored all their 3 goals from there. And all those 3 goals are two. I think 2 of them are set piece, right? The second one, Liverpool are so high up the pitch, and they just play behind the space behind their back. We got quick strikers. We got Smith Rowe. We got Aubameyang, which is really quick. We got who do we have again? We got Saka, which is
Osaka,
quick.
yeah.
We just need to explore the space Liverpool always leave behind. They defend, apart from their wing backs. Um, what's it called? What's his name? Robertson. That is
Robertson.
the only guy I can see that is very quick, because we need to watch out for Alexander Arnold, right? The
Mm-hmm.
only thing this guy got is cross, and he can put a very good cross in the box. When it comes to defending, it's not the best. When it comes to, okay, let's talk about him defending. We can explore him from there. If we stop these guys doing all those cross, it doesn't offer anything to Liverpool apart from those good cross that he put in the box for Mane, Salah, and what's it called, Jota.
Jota
That is the
Savino.
only thing I see in him. He cannot. This guy cannot defend. Anybody go and watch him. Anybody that is watching this, go and watch Alexander. He cannot defend. He's very good in taking free kicks. We must not give a free kick away at the edge of our box.
We have Ramsdale
Even
though.
we,
You
yeah,
saw the way he
we
held
have
Madison's
Ramsdale.
free kick.
Listen,
I'm
did you
just
see the free kick
joking.
this guy scored against West Ham? The
I'm just
goalkeeper
joking.
doesn't even move. So we need to watch out where we give our free kicks away, and we need to stop him putting all those sweet cross into our 6 and 18 yard box. Apart from that, it will be nowhere to be found. Trust. But the
Yeah,
same
and
thing,
you
Robertson.
you make a very valid point about how about the fact that Liverpool are able to concede goals, right?
Hmm.
We've seen this on different occasions this season, right?
Hmm.
Both in the league and the Champions League. But I mean, in
Yeah.
the league, you saw there's a 3-3 draw against Brentford. There's
Hmm.
the 2-2 draw against Man City.
Hmm.
There's again against West Ham. There's 2-2 against Brighton as well, and there's
Hmm.
3-2 against West Ham. So they are able to concede. But I
Yeah.
think that one thing that they do well is they're ruthless in attack and they attack for most of the game. So
That is the next
as
thing I
long as
want to
they're
mention.
pinning you, you can't attack them.
Yeah,
And
that's one thing I want to make. That's the next thing I want to mention. If Liverpool cannot score within the first 30 minutes of the game, that game is that game is going to go away from them. That is what West Ham did to them. If you go and watch most games Liverpool lost, they didn't score within the first 20 to 30 minutes. They failed to score goals. because if Liverpool score you first, that's it. The game is over. So that is one thing Arsenal needs to watch about. You need to be, because Liverpool always come out fast. You need to be able to stop them scoring goals in the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Then that game will stay balanced. That is when they're gonna be saying, "Oh, we haven't 30 minutes, we haven't scored a goal. We need to look for another option."
Yeah.
Where
And
they're
then
looking for another option, the other team is getting into the game
it's
as
getting
well.
into the
They're
game,
growing
true.
into the game.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, they also sort of get, because they're such a good team and they attack so
mhm,
well.
they
The
attack so well.
expectation
Yeah,
is there that they should have scored in 30 minutes. So if they
yeah,
haven't, they get a
hmm
bit desperate, right?
yeah. That's
And
right.
you can
And
exploit that.
they get desperate, then they leave space behind. That's when you're going to see Virgil van Dijk. There are two centre back wants to be in the opponent half. So when they're in the opponent's half, they forget about the whole half in their own for they leave their goalkeeper vulnerable. This is where Aubameyang and Lacazette needs to explore. So you stay on the last defender. When they went up to play a free kick or a corner, we can just
Uh,
cut them on the counter.
I mean, it sounds
Um,
nice. The only issue is, I know, knowing the Mikel Arteta that I know, Aubameyang will not be standing with the last man. He will be in his own
no,
box defending.
that's right. Yeah.
Except we try something else. But anyways,
hmm
I mean, we'll talk a lot more about the Liverpool game next week. But
hmm
still, just talking about where we are at the table. The table is pretty interesting
hmm
at the moment to look at, right? So obviously Chelsea are on top. They
hmm
have 26 points.
hmm
And then there's Man City and West Ham equal on
hmm
points, just 3 points behind Chelsea. There's Liverpool who is 1 point behind Man City and West Ham, and then there's Arsenal. We're in fifth place. We're 2 points behind Liverpool. We're 3 points ahead of Brighton and Man U. But that's not
hmm
even what I'm concerned about. When I look at the goal difference on the league table, right?
Yeah.
So you have Chelsea with a
20.
23 goal difference,
hmm
right?
Yeah. hmm
There's City with 16, there's West Ham with 10, there's
10
Liverpool with
and Liverpool
20,
20. hmm
and then there's Arsenal with 0.
hmm
You know, I mean, it's not just Arsenal. At the end of the day, if you take the entire table into context, right?
hmm
Besides those first four, 23, 16, 10, and 20,
hmm
only, I would say only Manchester United and Crystal Palace have positive goal differences, right? And Man U has 2, Crystal Palace
Yeah,
has 1, right?
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
you're correct. Yes.
Arsenal, Brighton, and I think one other club, and Everton, all three of us have 0, and then every other person has a negative goal difference,
hmm
right? But does this sort of show, in your opinion, the quality of the top 4 teams compared to the rest of the league, right? Because it's not just Arsenal now. Like, no other team, once you discount those top 4, no other team has, fantastic goal difference, right?
hmm
Everybody is 2, 1, 0, and then everybody's negative. But I like,
hmm
so for example, a club like West Ham now, are they now like a top English club?
I won't say they're a top English club. The reason why I'm gonna say that is because if you look there, if you don't just let us the ghost with the team above scored. We need to look at the goal they concede as well. Look at West Ham that is sitting on the in third place. They concede the number of goals that Arsenal concede. It's just Arsenal
True,
doesn't score enough goals, right?
true. They've even
Then
considered more
Liverpool,
than Brighton and
yeah,
Wolves.
that's right. Look at Man United that they got plus 2 goals. They concede more goals than Arsenal as well. So look at Liverpool, they concede 11 goals. But the only team I can say maybe they're not really conceding a lot of goals is Chelsea and Manchester City.
Yes,
So if the team are they conceded the same amount of goals like Arsenal, then I wouldn't say the two team I would say they are kind of let me say three. They are kind of not on the same level at the moment. It's Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Those
Oh,
three
okay.
teams, they are miles apart from the rest.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, I can definitely agree with that. I
mhm,
think that with West Ham, to prove that they need to sort of show this level of football on a consistent basis for,
mm,
I mean, now they've
and
done it.
again,
They did it last season. They need to do it
and
for like
again,
2 or 3
a
more
team like
seasons.
Chelsea, a team like Chelsea Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. I don't want to include Tottenham.
They're
Those,
nowhere to be found at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah, those four teams or five teams I mentioned, they've been doing it years after years after years after years. West Ham only just come into the limelight now. Can they do it? Can they carry on doing it? This is their second season that they, because last season they finished in Europa League spots, right? This season they're in the Champions League spot. Maybe they might probably, their manager can just say, okay, forget about it. Just their manager can just decide, okay, I don't want to burn all this player out. Let me get them out of the Europa League and let me face finishing
The
as
league.
high as I can in the league. Then I'll be playing Champions League football next season. So that give them chance to attract a lot of good players. Then when they attract a lot of good players, it gives them chance of winning the winning the Premier League. If you understand what I mean.
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
yeah.
I mean, interesting times for the Premier League,
Hmm.
and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, Arsenal can maintain this good form, and I mean, we'll talk a bit more about the games
Hopefully,
next
I
week.
will take a draw all day against Liverpool.
Oh, of
So,
course, at Anfield, I would definitely take a draw. That would be a good result.
hmm.
Um, I mean, definitely, it's a draw over, all those like 3-0 trashings. Anyways, let's move on real quick.
Yeah.
So, and I'll talk a bit about the Josh Kroenke interview because I thought that was an interesting, like you said, they just waited, won the game, and then they released the interview. But one thing that stood out for me in that interview is they're all saying the exact same things. Edu, Ateta, Josh, they have the same storyline, right?
What
It
do you
shows
expect?
me that this plan that they're executing, this their project youth, is they've agreed on it, and this is the direction of the
No,
club.
no.
And
I'm asking. I'm asking. What do you expect?
I mean,
They're not
valid.
gonna. They're not gonna listen. They're not going to just come out and just Ateta said this, Edu go out and said different thing, and Josh go out and say different thing. They have meetings. No, this is what all of us is going to be saying. No matter what everyone asks, we are going to say this. So it doesn't matter how you say it. You just have to whatever you said have to be on the same line. So what do you expect? It's just like if I go back into it when I saw Pep. I just want to bring this one in quickly. I saw Pep Guardiola interview when they said Xavi became Barcelona manager. The same thing exactly he said about Atata, he said about Xavi. What do you expect? What do you expect him to say? It's not gonna. It's not going to say Xavi is not good enough to manage Barcelona. It's not going to say Atata is not good enough to manage Arsenal. It will big them up.
True,
So that is
true,
exactly what it
true,
is, really.
true.
So
But I think the impression that gives us, one first of all, is, I mean, they're solidly behind the plan that Ateta is executing. Um, Clearly, it's a mutually
is it
agreed plan.
Atata executing the line, or is it what that is what the club wants to do?
Okay, well, I
Or
mean,
is that what
the
Ateta
plan
go
that
and
we're
table?
seeing,
Is that what Ateta take to the table to
well,
them? Okay,
valid, yeah,
look,
you're right. So it's a mutually agreed plan that they're executing, and they're clearly backing it, right? I also think that they're backing the man Ateta specifically. So I don't think that if anything goes wrong, they're going to lay off Ateta for any reason, right?
I think the way I see it is I think before Atata get into in there as a manager, Atata okay, Atata get in there. We say okay, we need to kind of trust the process. Ateta get in there as well, and Ateta now start saying the same thing. It's a process. It takes long time. I think as a manager, he sees that a lot of fans are angry. They don't believe in the process. Now he now kind of say, okay, I'm going to go and table my own philosophy onto the table with them. That we're going to we're going to forget about the process. We need to bring in a project. Well, how do we? How
We
now
went
the
from
only
process to project.
to
Now it's
project.
trust the
Now
project.
one thing, the only one credit I want to give Atata is kind of putting every player on sort of same wage level. No one is maybe probably the only person I would say is taking a lot of money out of Arsenal now is
It's
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, yeah.
So every other person they're not that very.
Far
There's
apart in
no
terms
big
of wages.
margin from all of them, because Smith Rowe is 18-year-old or 20-year-old. That doesn't mean that what's it called, Lacazette, which is experienced player, will be earning maybe probably hundred thousands of pounds than him. So that balance is there. So, and I'm sure if Aubameyang kind of say, okay, it's time for him, another striker they're going to bring in is going to be on that sort of wage level. So they're
Wage,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
kind of balance that. So I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the only credit I can, I can say.
I mean, yeah, that's
I give him credit for getting rid of a lot of player that is on big wages in Arsenal.
at
Because
Arsenal.
like Socrates is on big wages. The only person that I still think that is still at Arsenal
It's
is
Kolasinac, right?
Kolasinac. That guy is on big
I
money.
still wonder why that guy is. Every
He's
time I
still,
see him, I'm like, wait, this guy is still here.
but every time he plays though,
He's been
you
playing
can't.
well.
He's been playing well every time he
He
plays.
has been
I
playing
think
well.
he's our third choice left back at the moment.
Yes, yes.
So and again, this one remind me when I mentioned about third choice left back. Right? I've said it before. I want Arsenal to get rid of Callum Chamber and Cedric. So if we get rid of those two players, it's going to leave us with Tomiyasu, right? Only Tomiyasu. So
Yes.
I now want Arsenal to go back to Brighton and go and get two players for me in January, and that will be it.
You want
We can
Bissouma and
sustain
Lamptey, Abi?
Bisuma and Lamptey. Those two players, because if you watch those two players, yeah, in Brighton team, I watch Lamptey. Lamptey doesn't look like someone that have been out injured for over a year. He still looks sharp, quick, and is so decisive. That guy is a real deal. Go and get Lamptey, him and Tomiyasu competition in that right back place. You understand what I mean? Besuma, go and get him competition against whoever playing next to Party. Even Besuma can compete with Party in that midfield.
In that midfield. I mean,
Then
the only downside, in my opinion, to signing Bissouma in January is, I mean, it might not really be, it might be a downside or not, but it's just that he might not get to play for us until like
him and Party will go for
March.
African Cup of Nations, right?
Essentially,
Nation, right?
exactly, because they will go for AFCON, and I think that that's still a problem that
Mm,
is just lurking,
mm,
waiting to happen in January, because
yeah,
Pate is definitely going, and
yeah,
when
they
Pate
definitely.
goes, I
Yeah, but
hope
it depends
Granit
if
Xhaka is
Mali
back by
qualified
then.
though. I
But
don't
a
think
lot,
Mali is in a position to qualify for African Cup of Nation right now.
oh well, true. I mean, I guess we'll
Mm,
see.
hmm.
But yeah, but if once Pate leaves, I mean, our only choice, we have three choices, right? Is Xhaka, if he's back, if he's still not
Mm,
injured, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Sambi Lokonga.
hmm.
I mean, Ainsley and Lokonga were good against Watford, but you don't know, like, if you're playing
But
Chelsea or you're playing City,
one
do you know
thing I
if you
want
can
to say,
trust those two?
one thing I want to say about Lukunga is that guy still got a lot to learn. He still think sometimes if he's playing, he still think that he's playing in which league? What league did he came from?
I think it was in, did he come from the Belgian league or did he come from?
He still think no. Let
Yeah,
me
he came
just say,
from Anderlecht, I think.
Anderlecht. He still think he's still playing in his previous league. He doesn't know that Premier League is very quick. If you show the ball to the opponent just a
They
little
will
bit,
take it from
they
you.
take it, they're taking it.
They read you quickly.
He's still making all those stupid mistakes that Xhaka always made and result to go. If not because we have a very good defensive record, all those mistakes that he's making, we'll get punished for it.
We get punished for it. True.
Because where he's losing the ball is not a play. That is the
I mean, we
same
saw this against
position.
Crystal Palace. This is how
Yeah, that is the
we
same
considered a goal
positions.
against Crystal Palace.
Xhaka will lose the ball, and the opponent will punish us for it, and we always cost Xhaka for this. And I haven't seen anybody mention Lokonga's name to say, oh yeah, he's giving the ball away in a dangerous area.
In dangerous places. I mean, we considered a goal against Crystal Palace from him losing the ball in a place
So
he shouldn't have lost
if
it
we can
anyway.
shout on Xhaka and cost Xhaka for it, we need to tell him as
To
well.
get on Lokonga. I
Okay,
mean, I think
you're
Lokonga is just enjoying. He's enjoying the new B benefits. Plus, he's a young player.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
People
but
understand that those mistakes
I
will be a
think
part of the
Xhaka
game
get his stick because he's an experienced
because
player.
he's
He's been in the
experienced, right?
Premier League for a long
And it's been
time,
here
so
for a
you
long
should
time,
know.
exactly. So you
But
should know
Lokonga is,
better
I
than to
think,
do
is
this.
getting away with it because he only just came. So he needs to cut all those stupid mistakes out. We don't need at that area. We don't need three, four, five touches. Get it out of your feet, pass it forward. Get it
Pass
out of
it
your
forward.
feet, pass it forward.
You need to be
Basic.
very decisive.
Yeah, just basic. That's basic football. When you're growing up playing football, in your coach or your manager or whoever training you will say, go back to basics. I want two touches. Get it out of your feet and pass it. Make sure you. It's one of my manager always tell me this, right? He will tell you when they pass you the ball, make sure you look after that ball. Don't be the one
That
to
gives the
spoil
ball away.
that give the ball away or to spoil it. And if I'm playing football, it's still always in my head.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they give the ball to you. I want to look after it. Even though if I'm going to take three touches, I want to make sure that I look after the ball. But it
After
cannot
the
be
ball.
perfect every time. But make sure you don't give the ball away in a dangerous area,
The
which you're
dangerous
going to get.
place.
You know.
Another thing that is funny to me about Sambi is, is displaying party behavior in his shooting. Like you just take all these shots, you people are not scoring. Like you might as well
I
stop.
think Partey is getting there. So now, if you see all his shooting, it's not going
At least
all
now
the way
is,
wide.
but
He's hitting the
exactly, it used to be
target
the
now.
funniest thing because people are scoring. We see people take these nice shots, and at least they give the keeper something to worry about. So I
But
mean, I really
we
hope.
have it in our team. Xhaka can he can hit the ball well with that left foot. But
Yeah, yeah, of course.
mm,
But I mean, I guess we'll see. But yeah, on the last note, before we move on from like Arsenal and the table, I think one of the things we definitely need to do is
mm,
start to score more goals.
yeah.
That goal difference of 0 doesn't speak very well. But I
I
think
don't.
we need to start to score more goals.
Yeah, I was quickly say something. First thing
We
first,
scored only
we need.
13 goals this season. 13 goals in
Yeah,
11 games. Not good.
yeah. So first and first, one thing I want to this is the reason why I keep saying our manager is not the one for the club. First of all, our manager is not brave enough for him to tell if our manager going in a game every single game in the Premier League, the first thing at the back of a manager is defend, 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 right? So before thinking, he would defend three times before one attack. Defend, 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 attack. Defend, 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 attack. That is why we're not scoring enough goals. If you look at under Wenger, under Emery, we're scoring goal for fun. You understand? But under Atata, all the goal just went dry. We have a striker that can give you 25, 30 goals a season. He
Competed for
barely
Golden Boot twice in a row.
twice in a
Won it
row,
one time.
and Atata came and he just went go dry. The guy just went go dry. So that is how
And what's wrong with Aubameyang now? Missed two penalties in a row now.
in a row, yeah.
Was
Um,
still the same man who who stopped
but
Odegaard's goal.
I know,
he
but
had
the
a he
thing
had a
the
shit
thing
game against
is, I
Liverpool.
think he changes the style of the way he take penalties. So first, when I watch Aubameyang wants to take penalty, he watch the goalkeeper to move first before he kick the ball. But now he just hit it. He doesn't even allow the goalkeeper to move.
I'm
He
not
just
sure
hit
what's
it.
going on there. Like,
He
dude, I
just
mean,
hit
I,
it.
I get
But
with Martinez. Martinez probably got to him a little bit, but like this one against Southampton, I'm like, dude, get over whatever happened against Villa. Score this goal,
mm,
and
and
he
I don't
didn't.
know why he changes the side he played the penalty. He always played the penalty to the left side of the goalkeeper. But all of a sudden he just changed it. The two he misses now, he played it to the right.
To the right, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
he
I'm,
needs
I'm
to he
trying not
needs
to
to
be
just
reactionary, but I'm like, dude, get a hold of yourself.
but
Don't miss
me,
another penalty.
I'm not going to shout or angry because he misses two penalty is a game is I would say is a lock. Is if you know how to play a penalty, yeah, you know how to play. But we've seen Cristiano Ronaldo, we've seen Messi, we've seen
Okay,
what's it called, Bruno Fernandez. Good penalty takers, they miss penalty.
true.
So he's only two. So he's really. It's really nothing. So it's okay. He will get back onto it, go back for more training, and just keep scoring the penalty again. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we don't have to
Hmm.
miss any penalty again. Osman Ali
Yeah.
here says we've always had issues with long range shooting going way back. Van
Hmm.
Bronckhorst was renowned for it at Rangers, stopped
Mm.
at Arsenal. Rosicky and Kazola also cut down on it here too. I mean,
Hmm.
for this one, I think Wenger ball. I remember Wenger ball. We used to literally like yell at people to shoot because Wenger ball
Hmm.
was perfect football. They would literally want to
Hmm.
pass the ball into the net.
Into the net, yeah. Yeah.
I used to be so frustrated, yelling at like take a shot, instead of just passing. So I think Wenger
Hmm.
ball sort of affected that long range shooting as well. But I mean, well, for me at the moment, our players are trying. You see, Lokonga takes like two or three per game. Partey
Hmm.
takes a few per
Yeah.
game as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it means if Xhaka is good at it. So if Xhaka comes and he's taking a few per game as well, those increases our
Yeah.
chances. But
Yeah.
anyways, mentioning Rangers, I know Smiley mentioned Rangers. The Rangers manager or their former manager now recently moved to Aston Villa, which is interesting because Rangers he's done a pretty good job at Rangers, if you ask me.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, arguably they're probably the best team in their league, anyways. So it's understandable that the
But
kind of job that
there's
he's
only
done
two
there.
teams in Scotland: Rangers and Celtic.
Exactly.
And you know, uh, I'm not gonna say they're not they because Steven Gerrard will go to Aston Villa because Aston Villa, first of all, Aston Villa is in the Premier League. Secondly, Aston Villa is a bigger club than Rangers.
Dan Rangers.
So it kind of like a step up for him learning his trade
Yeah.
because Aston Villa is not a club that because Steven Gerrard now, if he goes to Liverpool now, he doesn't want to go there and turn it. He managed Rangers throughout the season. He hasn't lost a game.
True.
He's set in an invincible there.
Yeah,
He's not
that
going.
was last season.
He
Didn't lose a
is
single game.
definitely not going to go and manage Aston Villa and said he wants to do that. No, never.
Yeah, and you know what was
You
interesting?
understand what I
Yeah,
mean?
what was
So,
interesting is, and this is why I'm saying that I mean he's probably done a pretty good job.
mhm,
Last season, I
yeah,
think in the last 5 or 6 seasons, Rangers had actually not won the league for a long time. Celtic had been
mhm,
winning. But that
mhm,
last season when they did the unbeaten run,
yeah,
was the first time in like maybe 6 or 7 seasons that Rangers won the league.
yeah, yeah,
And currently at the moment they're currently top of the league as well. I
yeah,
imagine that
yeah.
Rangers fans are really upset
There will
uh
be.
that the
There will
manager
be.
has left for Villa.
Hmm.
But knowing fully well that the Scottish league is different from the English league,
Hmm.
but what do you think are his chances in the Premier League with Aston Villa? I know Aston Villa have been a bit of a threat
Hmm.
they were a bit of a threat last year, this
Hmm.
season as well. They're a good team.
Yeah.
Although at the moment they're not doing very well.
Mm.
They're currently 16th in the table. They've lost their last
First
five
of all,
games in a
what
row.
I want to say is, I think Aston Villa should. What's the name? What's the name of their
Dean
manager? They
Smith.
said Dean
Dean
Smith.
Smith.
I think they should kind of give him like automated, like in the next 3 or 5 games, we want to see a result. Without that, you have to go. You understand what I mean?
Hmm.
They just don't give him that.
They didn't do
They
that. I
just love.
think they use this. They wanted whoever would come in to be able to use
Mhm.
this international break to just
to
start to
to
prepare
just, yeah,
himself. Yeah.
and it still it won't because some of their player will go for international like Mati Cash is now a Polish national. He wants to go and play for Poland.
For Poland.
Who is there again? Tyrone Mings is with England. So all those their key players
Even
will
Emmy will
definitely.
go to Argentina as well.
That's right. All those key players will not be there. So I think the time they appoint the manager, they're professionals. At least they will have like maybe probably 3 or 4 days to train with him, and they maybe probably will
And
be able
yeah,
to
we'll,
pass
we'll, we'll
on
see.
the.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happened. But
Um,
however, I think the Aston Villa should have given
Dean
what's it
Smith a
called,
bit more
Dan
time,
Smith,
right?
a bit maybe probably another 5 games and see whether he's going to turn it around or not. Because last season they really played good football. And when this season they started well. Is it the last 3 games? They lost 3 games in a row and they sack him already. So that shows that
You know,
teams in the Premier,
it,
clubs in the
it just
Premier
shows the,
League,
the ruthless
how
nature. of teams in the
Mm.
Premier League. To be honest,
Yeah, in
if
the
you think
Premier
of Dean
League.
Smith, he's done a lot for Aston Villa.
Yeah, of
They
course.
almost got
He
relegated
picked
two
them up.
seasons ago.
He picked Aston Villa up in the Championship when they are 15th in the table,
Yeah,
and
you know,
he get them to he get them to a playoff once. He didn't come to the Premier. Then the following season, he get them promoted.
he came here.
So
And
and last,
I know
you
I
know,
remember they were gonna go down that season when
and he
Ateta
kept
first
them
came.
up.
He kept them up, and they had
Arsenal
a
is one
better
of the
season.
team. Arsenal is one of the team that get them stayed up that
For
year.
me, it's not one of the team. We are the sole team that allowed them to stay up. If
So
we had beaten them that day, they were going down. But we
to
didn't.
stay
We
up,
allowed them to beat us.
to be,
And
yeah.
the next season, that was last season, they played really well. This season has been, a bit
Mhm.
shaky. But anyways, they have
Yeah,
Gerrard now. I
they
think
have Gerrard
Aston
now.
Villa, they have an interesting team, right? In my opinion,
Hmm.
Dean Smith did a
Yeah,
good job getting the best out of those players.
yeah.
But now, Oli Watkins, Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey,
Mm.
these players, Matty Cash,
But
they have a good
I
goalkeeper
want to
now, Tyrone
I
Mings.
want to say
I think they
something
have an
now.
interesting squad.
When you mentioned one player, one Aston Villa player that now I think it will be saying that, oh, I think I picked a wrong club. Bundia. You know, Arsenal was really linked to it, but he chose Aston Villa
Hmm.
over Arsenal. And now, when another player, two players I want to talk about, our goalkeeper that went to them, which is Emi Martinez.
Emiliano Martinez, yeah.
Martinez. When they go to Aston Villa, he said he's looking to step up. So if you
We've
leave
not forgiven him
Arsenal,
for that, have we?
if you leave Arsenal, you now went to Aston Villa. Is that a step up for you?
To be honest, because I think sometimes I don't want to believe that Emiliano Martinez meant that Aston Villa are a step up from Arsenal, like they're a better club. Because
But
at
he
the end
wants to
of
be
the
playing
day,
first team football,
even
right?
that last season, we still finished ahead of them. But I think it just
Yeah.
meant that for him personally, he's now in a club where he's the first choice, and that's sort
Mm-hmm.
of a step up for him in his career. And
Mm,
ultimately, he has gotten pretty much everything he wanted out of that. Like he's now the first choice
mm,
goalkeeper for Argentina. He's
mm-hmm.
playing with Lionel Messi every time an international break. They've gone ahead to
Mm-hmm.
win a trophy for their national team. I
That's
think
right.
in that regard, when you do think about it, in personally in his own career, he did step up, even though he
Mm,
went to a lower team. And I think
mm.
sometimes it's like that for some players as well.
For some
I'm
players, yeah.
currently, for example, advocating for Edin Ketia to
Anyway,
go to a lower team.
he did us a favor. If he doesn't leave, we're not going to go and get the goalkeeper that we have now.
And now
You know,
Ramsdale is undroppable. I don't want to hear anything. Let
Ramsey
that
is,
guy continue this form.
is
Hasn't
it?
lost a
It's
single
not in
game.
England. Is oh yeah, I think it's the third
It's
choice
their third
England squad.
choice. But
Yeah,
I think is for example, I think it's Pickford. No, I'm not sure.
for
I want
Nick
to say
Pope.
Pickford,
Pope.
Dean Henderson, and him. I'm
Is it
not
Anderson there
sure.
or Pope?
I don't. Or Pope. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's Pope.
yeah.
Right. So I think it's the third choice.
Yeah.
But he's pushing if he continues well at Arsenal.
One another thing I want us to quickly mention before we move on is I was actually vexed. I get angry when I hear him say England don't call Smith Rowe. I don't want
You know
that
what
guy
made
make
them
that
call
guy.
your
I
boy?
don't want that guy make that guy go play for England.
Emil Smith Rowe, Moro.
So the thing be say the reason why where me I just they talk that be say I don't want him to go and play, come back injured. You understand?
No,
I
he's
believe he
probably
might
not going to
probably
play. Trust me.
he
I
probably
don't think
not
he's
going
going
to
to play.
play, but
If he
which
will
is
play very little.
yeah. But I know just want that guy go play and someone just put some rash tackle on him,
Oh my, I go
and
too vex, so no.
I go vex,
Because that
man.
guy is the one scoring our goals at
I
the
go
moment. I
vex
don't need
because at the
nonsense.
moment nobody they play like that guy for us. If Saka go play for England and he get injured, we get someone we say if he
That
come
can
in
easily,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
person
If
feel
you
up for
replace
him.
Sam, yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
But for
But we don't
now,
have a replacement for Smith Rowe at the
we
moment.
don't
And
get
when I didn't see
replacement
that
for that
coming.
guy.
I can't lie, I never saw that coming.
I never saw
I
that
mean, I knew
coming. Yeah.
Odegaard was not. I didn't really rate Odegaard, but I
Mm,
didn't see this particular patch of form from Smith Rowe. I didn't see it coming at all. Like he did
mm,
well last season, but this season you can see him is literally is getting more goals. Me that was saying
Yeah.
that we sold Willock,
Someone come
he's
they talk
getting goals,
say,
he's driving like
I don't even know the person. I think one of our legends, or one of or is it Real Ferdinand? I can't remember who mentioned that. Say this guy got in the play like Roberto Perez. I just say, hey, don't
no, 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 leave
don't
on.
go
No,
there.
don't start. Don't start.
Just allow this boy. Don't
Um
even compare it to Roberto Perez. Is on another
on
level.
another level. No, I mean, come on, those invincible boys,
The
they
thing be
it's
say
hard to do any
is that,
comparison.
yeah, it the thing be said, you see me and my brother-in-law, yeah, we always discuss about the past footballers that they've retired. We, for example, let me pick Ronaldo de Lima, for example. These guys, yeah, they play football with passion. When you're saying they play, they don't think about money when they play in football. But even let me go back to till Drogba's day, yeah. This guy play football with passion. But all the strikers, all the footballers they are here now, no money, they ain't playing.
Money now.
Now
Now agents
you
don't
see the
spoil this
difference.
game now.
You see what the difference in there is. Now they want to some people will just post something on Instagram that, oh, this, can you compare this to this? No, you cannot compare. You want to be, even when, if Maldini prime, Van Dijk will be sitting on the bench. You understand? Maldini
Valid.
is not on the same level as Van Dijk at all.
Valid. I mean, I think it's just the direction that the sport has gone to. There's a lot more PR involved
You
in the
know.
sport now. I mean, especially with the advent of social media.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of the agents are, on one hand, while they're looking at, so for example, I see a few agents on Instagram, and then you see some things around. It's not
Hmm.
just enough to be a good player. You also have to position yourself
Yeah.
appropriately to get deals and all those kinds of things.
You know,
So
some
those
now
things have
they
become
think
high
of their own
priorities.
pocket more. Their
So
own
those things have
pocket
become
more,
like,
agent.
closer to the top priority for some players, even than actually getting on the pitch and playing football itself. But that's
Hmm.
just where the world is. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, before we move on from Steven Gerrard to Rangers, I was just gonna say, so for example, I thought Conte to Spurs, there will be,
Mm.
that new manager bounce. Uh Funny enough, even in my FPL, I made it because I played Everton, and Everton have been conceding all these, terrible goals because they're 5 against Watford. I thought, oh wow, Harry Kane might actually come back in this game with the new manager bounce. But
Mm.
they played nil-nil. I captained Harry Kane in my FPL. It was a terrible decision. Um, but
And the
the
thing,
point is, we've not
listen.
really
Let me
seen that.
make I say this quickly before we move here. Not every club, because if you look at club like Chelsea, Chelsea na club where we say, if one manager know they do well, then sack that manager, then bring another one in, then go have that bounce. Okay, not every club they do, they happen like that. Conte don't come to Tottenham now. Now he needs to. I just they read the news. Say Conte don't pizza for Tottenham training ground, fizzy drinks, and there is another thing that he then talk say he don't ban all
Banned,
those
yeah.
food now. Now you will- all those sort of things. I remember when Ian Wright, the in he was talking about when Arsene Wenger just came into Arsenal. He said Arsene Wenger banned them from drinking tea. You understand what I mean? He banned them from
Mhm.
drinking all this juice with, you can't. Then he now said all of them looking at him and said, what is wrong with this man? Why is it? But when they obey him, they can see that they are getting fitter, they're getting quicker on the ball, and they're winning games. It's only two games in for him. One is in the European Conference League, and the second one is one of the Premier League team. You've got at least you've got to give a manager at least between 10 to 15 game
Before you start to
before you
see
probably
anything,
to
yeah,
see what he's trying to
yeah,
bring into that team.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. not 18 months to 20 months, and you still don't know you still don't know the signature of your
Again,
team.
my
You
manager will
understand what I
always
mean?
catch
So
strays in these kind of conversations. But
it's
yeah,
true.
you're
How
right.
could you how could you be in a club for for 20 over 20 months and nobody knows your style
Nobody knows your
of
style.
play?
You know. I mean, we can
You know?
have the conversations about Ateta as long as possible. But you
Hmm.
are right. I read about that as well. I think the third thing he banned was like was ketchup from the Tottenham
Yeah,
players as
I
well.
think
And I know
ketchup.
there was
Yeah,
this. It was. I think the comment that might have been made was like he wasn't convinced with their fitness levels when they played in the Conference League. So he just
that is the
now he's
thing.
trying to get
That
them
is
to
the
be
thing.
fitter and all of that. But yeah,
Because
that's interesting.
because I remember one Chelsea player. No, I think it's Fabregas that said it. I can't remember which Chelsea player when Conte was managing Chelsea. He said when they finish training, they find it very difficult to walk and or drive home. Their leg is so heavy that they will train that they won't be able to walk. That's why you see them on the pitch. They just don't get tired
They're very,
easily.
very
They're
hard.
very
Yeah, I
fit.
think you could see this with this Inter Milan side as well.
Hmm.
They just they're very bullish on the pitch. They're very hard.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Hmm.
Facts. Anyways, we'll give Steven Gerrard time. We'll see how he does at Aston Villa. Hopefully,
Hmm.
I mean, wish him all the best. He's one of the players that I respect, unlike some of these
Yeah.
other club legends from like some of these clubs.
Well, it's
Anyways,
just a shame that he doesn't win a Premier League with the Liverpool.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is one of the most unbelievable things
Hmm.
in the EPL history. But I mean, it is what it
EPL,
is. So I mean, before we wrap up the show,
Mm.
um, I wanted us to touch a little bit about some of the games that happened over the weekend, right? One
Yeah.
is United and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think sorry, United and Man City, Manchester
Man
United and
City. Yeah.
Manchester City. I know we talked about it a little bit
Mm.
before on the show last week, and most people did predicted that Man City was going
Man
to
City will win. Yeah.
trash Man U, even though I thought Man U might have a bounce, but
Yeah. I
it
said
happened
Man
just
City
like
will
that.
win, but it's not gonna be five. So
It happened just like that. They beat Manchester United 2-0. Do you think this has any implication for Ole's job?
no, I would like Ole to stay. He might. This might probably be the year for my Arsenal to finish above him. So I would like him to stay because at the moment it looks like Cristiano Ronaldo that came into the team overshadowed every other player. So which they know
But you would
they,
expect that from
they
any team, any club that buys Ronaldo today is going to go
no
there
no
and
no
be the main
no
man.
no when it was at Juventus, it doesn't overshadow the other players. He's scoring, he's doing his thing, but all the other big players there,
Ronaldo
they're
doing
doing
the
their
thing
thing
as
as
well.
well. So look how before he came to Man United, everybody is shouting Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, he won
No,
he
we know
won
even
so
Sabi
many
Bruno.
player of the month, isn't it? And he won.
Yeah,
He's creating chance. Cristiano Ronaldo come. How many times did you see this pundit talk about Bruno Fernandes these days?
nobody's mentioning Bruno anymore.
Nobody. He just came into there and he just like, oh, this big man has come into the changing room. So he's just like they
Nobody is
just
mentioning
talk
Bruno
about him
anymore.
like, you understand what I mean. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think maybe probably that affects Ole, the way Ole kind of get the best out of the other
Out
players
of
as
the
well.
other
He will be
players,
thinking that
it's
because
possible.
yeah, he will be thinking that because Cristiano Ronaldo in the team, every other player will step up their game. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't always work like that.
It
True. I
doesn't work
mean,
like that at all.
we'll see what happens with Man U.
Mm,
My eyes are on them. I mean, I really do. I really hope we finish above them.
hmm.
Another team that and this game is interesting because they won and then they sacked their manager, Norwich.
Norwich.
I thought that was interesting. You literally won your first game of the season and then you like, oops, sack the manager.
Me,
um,
yeah, but the thing is, you see, the thing is, where is so funny to me is they've played 20 Premier League game. Is it or more? Is it 20 or 20, 22 or 21? I can't remember. And that is the only one game that your team won out of those 20. And and you just say, okay, we had enough of you now. Go. You don't. They don't know whether that's the turning point for
You
the
know
for
that
the.
they don't they don't know
Uh,
that. That
you
was a
know,
funny situation.
and
But
they're
now I'm
thinking of
hearing.
bringing Lampard in,
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I
but I
mean,
don't
there are
think
two names
Lampard
that
will
I've
go
heard.
there.
I've heard Lampard. I've also heard Dean Smith, which literally just left Aston Villa. Um,
Okay.
I've heard those two names being linked with the Norwich job. I
Mm,
mean, it'll be interesting to see who eventually goes there. I
mm.
worry. I don't really know because I don't think that they have the squad to compete in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
they
that
have the
is
squad
the.
to not get relegated.
You mean
Uh,
Norwich?
maybe I'm just
Norwich.
saying maybe. I don't really
No,
know.
no, no, no. The thing is, look at if you look at every time Norwich come into the Premier League, the
They
following
go
season they
right
go
back
back.
down.
They go right back down. The only one thing I can see in this in Norwich team is because they haven't got their squad is not big enough. Secondly, those players are only all the players that come from the championship. So in their head, they still thinking that they're playing championship football. You understand what I mean?
True,
But this is
true.
Premier League. You've got to step up your game. If you if you are playing in the championship 100%, you're playing there you're playing 100%. If you get into the Premier League, you have to be playing 150%, or you
True.
have to be playing 200% extra than you have to step up your game, because a lot of teams that they've been in the Premier League for a very long time, some of them now they have a very good training ground, very good training facilities, but you've got to be on top of your
You
game.
have to. You have to.
You understand?
So yeah, I
So
mean, you'll be interested to see who goes there. To be honest, like I said, I don't know about Lampard
mhm,
because I mean, Lampard. Where was before Chelsea had Lampard coached before?
Derby.
Yeah, we coached at Derby County. True.
Mm.
But I mean,
I think
we'll
I
see
think Lampard I think Lampard is too quick to go and take Chelsea job. He should have done what Gerrard did.
what Gerrard did. Look at Gerrard
Gerrard has
now.
been in Rangers for how many seasons now? Is it two or
Yeah,
three
he's been
seasons
there
now?
like 3 seasons, I
Three
guess.
seasons, and he's learning straight for three
Learned the
years.
job, won a few trophies, learned how to,
Yeah,
play over a season in a top, in a
yeah,
really,
that's right. So
competitive
he
league.
should have done that, but you just jump on
But
Chelsea jobs like,
yeah,
but
we'll see what happens with them.
you know,
The other game I wanted to talk about was I think we touched a little bit about it was the Liverpool West Ham game. But we
mm,
talked a little bit about that earlier as well.
mm,
Before we go, one last question I just wanted to ask you, right?
yeah,
At the moment, Arsenal, I mean, they've done a decent job
hmm,
in 11 games in, we're fifth in the league,
yeah,
but there's still a long way to go in this league.
yeah,
We've also signed out a few players. Everybody, I mean, we saw the players that came in, the youngins
yeah.
that came in
Hmm.
January. My question to you: in January, who would you say, or what positions do you think we need to fill in
We need
January?
three. We need three players in January to come into this team that we have now. We need a holding midfielder. We need a number 10 that is going to come and help Smith roll out, and we need uh, a right back, because all the other two right back that we got now, they're not in the competition with their new right back at the moment. Because if Tomiyasu get injured, we either bring Cedric in, or we bring what's his name in, what's his name, Callum Chambers,
Callum Chambers.
and they are not, and those two players are not at the level that we want to be. So they are not players that is going to be Charlie. They're not a threat to Tomiyasu at the moment. If he gets injured, maybe probably 6 weeks, it will come back straight into the team
Yes,
when the
true.
when it comes back. So with that, this is the reason why I said we need three player in January. Get Cedric and Chambers out. Go and get Lamptey. Lamptey is a right back that will give Tomiyasu and say, oh, if I drop my level, if this guy comes in, it will be very tough for me to get back. Like Nuno Tavares now. Tierney will be on the medical bench now. He
Jenny
will be
knows that.
thinking that,
Wow, as in
wow.
From the whenever
What
I
am I
come
going
back,
to
I
do
need to
to
be 120,
on? You
150%
understand what I
to
mean?
compete with this
So
boy.
we
Yeah.
got two left back that they're pushing each other, but we haven't got another right back that will be pushing. This is what I said about Leno. Now you see, we get a goalkeeper that challenging Leno. Because if Ramsey get injured, Leno comes in, is doing a decent job.
Wants
The
to nail
goalkeeper
that
is not
spot
going to.
down. True.
You understand? It's not. We can't have that. So we need those three places: a number 10, holding midfielder, and a right back. Those are the three that we need. Then when it comes to January, if Lacazette wants to go, he can go. Let us go and get this Aston Villa striker. What is his name?
You really like Holly Watkins. I didn't really,
Oli
I'm
Watkins,
shocked at how much you
seriously,
like
is
Holly
that guy
Watkins.
is a real deal. You will think that if we don't get Oli Watkins, go and get this Jamaican guy from Brentford. What's his name
Tony.
again? Tony. That guy will do a decent job. Yes, go and get
Okay.
him. What's it called? Aubameyang wants to leave, then we just need to go out there to go and get a top name striker
Top
that
name.
is already
Okay.
made,
Me,
because
I still
we
maintain.
cannot yeah, we can, because we cannot have Oli Watkins without having Aubameyang. We cannot have Tony without having Aubameyang. We will need to go and get a
Yeah,
ready-made
a
striker next
scorer, you know.
to one of those two.
Yeah,
Yes.
true. May I still maintain my agenda, and I'll continue to
Yeah.
say it until it
Yeah.
manifests. Is that if we go get ourselves in the Champions League and we're a
Yeah.
big club again, we should go and sign Haaland. I'll keep saying it. It sounds unreasonable. It sounds impossible. But I
Oh my
believe
God.
that all we need is Champions League football. But
Alan we just I can't remember where I saw it when they are talking to Hazard. They now mention as Arsenal in front of Hazard. He just laughed. He
anyway,
said,
that one I see
"What?
finish now. That one I see finish, but no problem.
Oh my God, what did
He
Arsenal?"
was in the Premier League at a time when but the truth
Yeah,
is, Arsenal was on the Premier League at the time when Arsenal were not doing well, where Chelsea were
yeah,
significantly better than Arsenal. Arsenal were the
better,
banker club.
yeah,
If he was in the
yeah.
Premier League, when Arsenal were doing their thing, he
Like
wouldn't have
Thierry
said
Henry
this about
days,
Arsenal,
yeah. If we want to
right?
come,
So
yeah.
it's just the time, right? And if we bring
Mm,
back good times,
the
we
good
can
times,
then go
yeah,
out
yeah,
and compete for the best players. But I mean,
yeah.
we'll
That's
see. But
great.
anyways, this has been a great show, Mossy Boy. Big ups to you. Big ups to everyone that has
Yeah.
been watching us. Big ups to you, Osman Ali, as well for the comments. We will be
Hmm.
back again next week. I think we didn't have a lot
Hmm.
of comments today because people are watching football because of
People
the
are watching
internet.
football, yeah, that's right.
But I mean, big ups to everybody. We will still watch the show later. We'll be
Mm.
back again next week with more Lasgidi effect. By then, we'll be preparing to go into another week of EPL
Yeah,
football,
football.
and we'll
That's
see
right.
you then. Big ups, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Awesome. Bye.
Tick tock, time na money. Ori, me, check a shake yori. Lick it, come and take me away to the place of my desire. I don't wanna be there. Tori,